And welcome back to the 920 podcast. I'm your host, Logan Quinton, joined alongside Bill Monnett as always. And we've got a special guest with us today. It is our latest Hot Works Hot Hand performer. It's none other than Nate Snead. And Bill, I don't know what's hotter than the infrared saunas. I don't know if it's Nate Snead or some of that infrared because Nate, you have been smoking hot the past couple of weeks. It's been a joy to watch you perform and form into this vital role that you have for the Vols. Like to welcome you and to speak with us here today on this episode. First of all, Nate, let's go back to where it all kind of started for you at South Milwaukee and then Wichita State and what your journey has been like from South Milwaukee to Rocky Top.
Yeah, it's been fun. It's been a lot of fun. I mean, spent a lot of time in the gym, a lot of time at the fields, a lot of time at the local Little League. I mean, you name it. I mean, me and my dad were doing it. It was so much fun. Had a lot of fun. And then through my sophomore, late sophomore, early junior year, just kind of getting in the gym a little bit more, realizing I wanted to play. I wanted to try and be a college baseball player. I just kind of wanted to create a name for myself. I never thought it would get this big, but I always wanted to work hard. So I was always up for the challenge. So joining the gym, getting in there and getting in there and doing my work, I felt was the biggest thing for me, and just playing ball, honestly.
Question on that. Nate, you threw a perfect game in high school, struck out 14 of the 15 hitters you faced. Did you realize at the time what a big deal that really was?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. In the moment, it was just kind of cool to enjoy, especially that was our rival team. So it was kind of a good win for us. And I felt it was a lot of fun and really cool to make some history, I guess, is what I'd say.
Going back to South Milwaukee for a minute, we chopped it up off air there for a second, but for the folks to know that your former team was actually here in Knoxville last week, playing the Powell Panthers over there off Emory Road. What was it like to kind of reconnect with some of your former teammates, coaches, and just the joy of being able to have them in town and be able to see those guys again?
It was awesome. I mean, some of those guys I went to high school with, I played on the team with, and it's really cool to see them. I still keep in touch with them a lot still. There's some guys I'm really close with, and one of the coaches, I mean, he coached me since I was 6, so kind of him and his son. We've always been together. We were always at Little League growing up. I mean, you name it, we were all doing stuff together. So it was a lot of fun. I thought it was really cool. I mean, in high school, I never got the chance to do anything like that. So I thought it was a really cool opportunity. And I think it was good for team bonding, I'd say, because in high school, you're kind of learning the ropes of being in the locker room and being a part of a team. And then it kind of gets you ready for the next level. So I felt like getting everybody together, getting on a road, I mean, you're 10 hours away from home. I mean, you're doing everything together. So I just feel it was really cool to see everyone together and then honestly just enjoying the time that they had here.
What'd the boys think of Lindsey Nelson Stadium? They were able to catch a couple of games, right?
Yeah, they caught our midweek, and then they caught our Friday game against Georgia. So they thought it was really cool. When I saw them after the game, they were all swagged up. They had all the Tennessee gear, and it was kind of cool to see. And I got a big group picture, and I mean, it's kind of cool to see where I've been practicing and kind of my second home, honestly, from here, I guess. So I had seen them come there and just kind of see what we do is kind of special, to be honest with you.
Yeah, you found a home here on Rocky Top, but first you were at Wichita State to begin your collegiate career, made a name for yourself. What's the biggest difference? What are your first impressions now that you're a few weekends into SEC play? What's your impression of the conference and playing in this league?
I think it's a lot different. It's kind of it's a whole 180, I'd say, just because the fan base is unreal. I mean, the fans on social media and in person. I mean, we didn't get many fans at Wichita, so kind of having that fan base behind you, kind of hearing the crowd. A lot of people say the crowd doesn't help you, but I feel like it does, especially when they're cheering. You kind of get, and then everybody's going, then you just kind of keep rolling. So I feel like it's a good thing, and I feel it's a lot of fun, honestly. I really enjoy it. I think I didn't have I didn't have football at Wichita, so that's another big thing. And we were a mid-major, so having football here and having those game days on Saturdays and kind of enjoying it with the team, I mean, it's a whole different atmosphere.
Nate, when I saw your bio from Wichita State, the first thing that jumped out to me, you were on the AAC all academic team. So obviously academics, an important part of your decision. Talk about the academics program. What are you majoring in at Tennessee? And talk about that part of your
Yeah,
college.
I'm majoring in Tennessee right now. I'm majoring in sport management and just kind of something easy and kind of something that kind of eye appealing. I feel like having like an advisor and having coaches and seeing how they like manage and work through things. I mean, talking to my advisor a lot, I just seeing what he does. If like somewhere down the road when baseball maybe isn't a thing for me, that advising is kind of a cool thing, kind of talking to all these like team scouts, kind of negotiating for players and maybe getting to be one of the big name guys like the Boris Corporation, et cetera, stuff like that. I mean, stuff like that is just super cool to me. And I feel it's interesting.
Nate, talk about your progression as a pitcher coming into the program with Frank Anderson. What's it been like working with him and kind of the things you've worked on since the fall leading up into this season?
Yeah. So I got here in the summer and we couldn't really do much with coaches just because it's not like we're not in school yet. So we didn't have practice. So it was kind of just on our own, kind of just playing catch, stuff like that. And then when the fall rolled around, we kind of had to sit down and we kind of talked about what we wanted to do and what we wanted to fix or change or tweak, or we added a cutter. So it was like a lot of practice and like bullpens with like the Edgertronic and TrackMan and getting spin efficiency and spin rate and all that stuff down. And I feel like moving a lot different than I did at Wichita and really understanding my mechanics well. I feel it just has been a huge change and is honestly showed on the mound.
Nate, you picked UT over Arkansas and LSU. You know, obviously, three of the power programs in not just the SEC but nationwide. What came down to your decision to end up in Knoxville over Fayetteville or Baton Rouge?
Yeah, Tennessee is actually my dream school. This place, like I've been a huge Vols fan for a while. I mean, in school, I used to watch like their games on my computer during study hall or whenever you go home and watch the highlights. And I was always watching if I could. So, I mean, it's ever since V got here, it's been a lot of fun to watch, especially like that 22 team. I don't think I missed a game. So it was just a lot of fun to watch. And I kind of wanted to be a part of that winning aspect. So
could you say you're the biggest Tennessee fan in Milwaukee, Wisconsin?
Yeah, it shocked a lot of people. I actually visited here my junior year on the way down to a tournament, and I'd never like been here before, so it was like really cool. And then I bought like a sweatshirt and a hat, and I think I wore that hat almost every day. And it's just always been so cool to me. And orange is so different. I've always been surrounded by like blue, red, and like gray. So kind of a different color for the wardrobe, and just kind of stuck with it, I guess. Loyal.
Yeah, I'm trying to bring Dan around, man. Like he's coming around as a Vol fan, I think. And for folks that don't realize, I'm talking about Dan Zielinski over at Baseball Prospect Journal. He had an excellent write up on you just a week or two ago. You were able to speak with him. Nate, what are some like pitchers, or maybe it's just athletes in general that you have modeled your game after that you look up to?
Yeah, I mean, now that I don't really know what my role is going to be for the future, I could start, I could be a reliever, could be a closer. I look at it a lot of different ways. As like, I'm a big Brewers fan, so I loved Josh Hader when he was here. I loved watching him. I loved watching what he would do. He threw hard, so I really loved watching him and how he moved, and then how he took care of himself as like a 1 inning, maybe 2 inning guy if actually needed. But I also loved Corbin Burns as a starter, just how efficient he is and how he works. And then there's a couple guys in between. I'd say like Drew Beam's a big one here. He was a big guy I love to talk to. He's been here for a while. He's won some games and he's got some SEC under his belt. So I love chatting it up with him.
Have to ask you about a comparison that I've read, I've heard a lot of people make comparison between you and Garrett Crochet. Did you get a chance to see any film on Garrett Crochet pitching against the Braves yesterday? And have you heard that comparison?
Yeah. I saw a little bit. He shoved. He is pretty gross. I mean, what he does at that level is actually insane. So I'm happy for him. Not that I know him, but like it's cool to see guys out of college just successing like that. It's really cool.
Have you heard those comparisons between you and as far as your style, what you do on the mound?
I've heard it a couple of times. Not much, but I've heard that when his time was here, he was throwing hard too, and he just had a good mix and just kind of getting the guys out. So.
Yeah, and the weather too last night. I mean, that was some ugly weather. Speaking of Crochet and his performance against the Braves, is there a certain like peak weather condition that you found that you kind of helps you, kind of get warm at the perfect temperature, right? Like not too hot, but not too cold, or do you like one or the other?
Obviously, I like the hot more. It feels a lot better on your body. You can get a lot warmed up pretty fast in it, and you can get like sweat going and your adrenaline starts pumping. It's a lot easier, a lot faster, and I'd say a lot more fun because you can throw harder when it's hot. But growing up in Wisconsin, I literally only played in the cold in the springtime. So, I mean, my first outing senior year of high school, it was 28 degrees and sideways snow. So, I mean, I've learned to pitch in that, and I've learned how to get myself ready and how to cool myself down and or stay warm in those conditions. So, but I mean, I can really pitch in anything. I'm kind of used to everything now.
Well, talk about Friday night and Saturday night. By the way, watching you Friday seemed like you warmed up for a long time. And like in that type of game flow where there's so many runs and so many momentum swings, and you've got the run rule in effect. Like what was kind of going through your mind? Actually, Saturday night. That was Saturday.
Yeah.
Saturday night. What was going through your mind as you're warm, you're hot, but you're kind of like, am I going in? Am I not? And then you ended up throwing back to back, which I think was your first time going back to back.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, no, I thought going down there early and just kind of feeling the way through the innings and waiting for my turn to throw on the mound, I guess. So I think just kind of staying loose is my big thing, and don't rush anything because you get hot too quick, then you're gonna then we're back in the dugout. So it's a lot of moving factors, and I've done it a lot, especially at Wichita, being a bullpen guy there too. So I kind of figured out how to warm myself up pretty quick and how to settle down without being cold. So I just kind of was trusting the boys, kind of just going out there and whatever they need me to do, I'll go and do it.
Let's talk about the weekend for just a minute. Friday night wasn't so good. They came out, they punched you guys in the nose pretty good. Saturday, you come out, they score 7 in the first couple of innings. And then all of a sudden, from that point on, the weekend just changed. You guys took control. What was the mood in the dugout and the bullpen? Did somebody, say something magical, if you will? Just what turned that series around?
Yeah, I'd say losing at home. I don't think anybody likes to lose at home. And I think we really take it to heart, and especially you're down game 1, you lose another game, you lost a series. So you never want to lose a series, especially at home. So we always get like a text in our group chat or something from one of the guys like, yeah, we didn't play our best, but tomorrow we're gonna show up and we're gonna show them that this is our park, and we're gonna give it our all, and we're just gonna play ball, and we're gonna have fun with it. I think that's a big thing we do, is we just try and have fun and not stress about it, because if we stress, then we press. So you never want to press, especially in your home park when you got all the fans behind you as well. So kind of taking it one pitch at a time is our big thing, and trying to win a ball game.
Was there a particular at bat or play or some point in that game where you thought to yourself, okay, this is it, we're done, we're going to play, we're going to win this series?
First pitch, honestly. I know Beam in the Saturday role, I mean, he always tries to go out and gives the boys a chance. So, I mean, he's going to go out there. He's from first pitch. Sometimes it's not going to go our way. I mean, that's baseball. But, I mean, you get us back in the dugout, we're going to hit the ball, and we're going to just run our hearts out. So, I feel just trusting in ourselves is the biggest thing.
And it's real easy to have a lot of trust in that lineup to support you guys in the pitching group. What's it like playing with this type of lineup? I mean, you guys are so deep there. They're all, guys getting banged up. Bargo had the hammy. Amick has a wild card type of deal where
Yeah.
dealing with his appendix.
Yeah.
But what's it like to have that deep of a lineup? It's not 1 through 9. It's like more like 1 through 13 or 14.
Yeah. Like you said, 1 through 13. We always have a guy ready. I mean, it's special. I think it's super cool. I've never been on a team like this before, so it's kind of cool to see these guys bang the ball around like they do. I mean, the amount of home runs is not like it's crazy to me. We've had like 70 some home runs or something like that. Like it doesn't even feel that much because we just continue to do it. I mean, we'll have games with multiple home runs. I mean, we got guys who hit the cover off the ball. You kind of, they're going to go up there and they're going to give you a good at bat and they're going to hit it hard somewhere. And if it gets caught, and that's, like I said, that's baseball. I mean, not going to do much about it.
Do you ever get tired of hearing you guys play in a small ballpark thing? It's not like the other team's not playing in the same ballpark. You guys ever get tired of hearing that?
As a pitcher, not really, because people are going to say, oh, you gave it a bomb. You only give up a bomb because it's a small ballpark. Nah, they hit it pretty good. So
it's funny how that works out. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to happen. I mean, we do play in a pretty small yard, but makes it fun for our hitters, I'd say.
Well, you're playing a small yard from right center to right. Now the other way, it's not any smaller than anywhere else you play in the SEC.
Yeah,
but
well, especially if the wind's blowing in off the river like that. It's always from right to home. So I mean, hitting it out over there is kind of challenging some weekends.
Yeah, that's my biggest rebuttal to that noise is that this time of year, February, March, you're getting those winds coming up, and blowing. Like you said, it's going to be playing in quite a bit. And, man, you guys have played, in impressive fashion in terms of offense, dealing with some crazy weather and wind. But let's go to the pitching side a minute. I got a couple of things. First of all, Sunday, Sechrist, man, he was able to hand the ball off to you in a really good spot. Like, what was it like seeing his performance, knowing that, going up against that type of offense at the top of the lineup with Collins and Condon? Man, what was it like being able to watch him perform like that and put you in a position for you to close the deal?
Yeah, it was awesome. It was really awesome to see. Like Beam, like Xander, like Kirby, like Stamos, they're going to go out there and they're going to give you a chance. They're going to go out there, throw their junk. If they hit it, they hit it. If they swing and miss, they're going to swing and miss. So I feel like Xander went out there and showed his stuff really well. His sequence really good. I mean, that's probably the best I've seen him all year, especially against a team like that. Like you said, that lineup is really strong. They had a lot of good hitters. I mean, they hit the ball around pretty good. But what he did and setting us up, I mean, it felt good, especially for me to come in again for that day too. I felt the waters through the day before, and I kind of know what the hitters were looking for, kind of learned off that and mixed in a little bit more off speed and breaking balls. And I obviously didn't have my velo like I did on Saturday, just because I threw less than 24 hours ago. So I'm going to be a little bit fatigued. So, I mean, I was still out there throwing my stuff, kind of just trusting it. I mean, throw it where you want to. If they hit it, they hit it. We got a guy behind us. So it was a lot of fun, though. I mean, especially watching our pitchers do what they do. So
two things on the pitching staff follow up there. First of all, Kirby's performance on Saturday, because normally he's a one-inning guy, if that. Most of the time a one or two out guy comes in, throws, I believe it was 94 pitches, kept you guys in the game with a chance to win. Talk about Kirby first of all, as a pitcher, then as a leader for your team.
Yeah, he's actually one of my roommates. He's just right across the hall from me. So it's pretty cool to live with him. Every day I ask him, I'm like, how you feeling today? Like, I mean, that is an insane amount of pitches for a guy who's never thrown that many pitches. So, and especially with constant adrenaline and energy and stuff like that. So but yeah, it's really awesome to be, one, living with him, and then two, kind of having him as a leader on our team. I mean, he's been here for a while. Obviously, he's the old guy on the team. So a lot of people look to him for advice, and I think we all look up to him really well. I mean, he doesn't have much overpowering stuff. Like he's pretty average pitcher we got to, but he goes out there with the most confidence I think we have on the pitching staff, honestly, because he knows that he's going to go out there and give it at all. So
the second question I have on the pitching staff, last year's staff lost 10 arms from last year. A lot of high-profile guys, had some transfers coming in, yourself included, a couple, 2 or 3 other guys that are really playing big-time roles. But there's also a lot of young arms that we haven't seen a lot of yet. There's a lot of talent in those young guys. Talk about what you've seen from those young guys and the potential some of those young guys have to step in and once they get innings to fill important roles.
Yeah, I feel like in the fall when we came in, everyone, including the returners, we're all fighting for a role. So I think going out there and everyone giving it their all, I think it was a big eye opener for a lot of people, especially the freshmen. I mean, it was for me last year. You're pitching against college hitters now. These aren't high school kids from right down the road that maybe aren't going to be playing at the next level. That I think it was a big eye opener for me too, just because this is the SEC. Our hitters are going to be a lot better than the American Conference, and I felt it was like honestly a giant competition between everyone, and I felt our freshman class is going to be very strong. We have some pitchers that are going to be some pretty big names coming up in the next couple of years. We'll have like Derek Schaefer. He'll definitely be a weekend guy for us next year. He's super strong. He's got a lot of pitches, got a lot of confidence. Sometimes doesn't go his way. Sometimes it's go my way. Just sometimes it doesn't go anybody's way. You're gonna lose a baseball game here and there. So I just feel like, especially taking like some guys under the wing, kind of showing them the ropes and realizing that baseball's hard and this is the next level. I mean, you're only like 2% of college or high school athletes that get to play at the next level, let alone the highest level. So I think taking everything with a grain of salt, being humble, being like grateful for the opportunity to even be in Knoxville is super cool. So, I mean, we do have a lot of young talent though. I feel we're going to be very strong the next year and the year after that. Hopefully the draft works out for me next year and the guys will take over all the other guys' roles. So
what are some keys for you guys as a pitching staff going forward as you continue SEC play? I mean, we're like halfway through the season now. I mean, it's like you blink and it's gone. You're 3 weekends into conference play. You guys are sitting in pretty good shape. Like what are some keys to success for you guys as a pitching group?
Yeah, Coach A says it a lot. It's trusting our stuff. Sometimes you're not going to have your best stuff. Sometimes you're going to have the greatest stuff. Sometimes you're going to have stuff you didn't even know you had. And our biggest thing is going out there and just throwing it with conviction and throwing over the plate, letting them hit it. You got 8 guys, 9 guys behind you that are going to make a play, or if not, we're going to get the next guy out, like ground ball through the 6 hole. All right, Simo, here's a ground ball for you, turn 2, let's get out of this. So I just feel that we have a lot of confidence in going up on the mound every pitch, every out, every inning, and just trusting our stuff.
You guys are about to hit the road and go to Auburn next. They're 1-8 in conference, but if there's one group I'm not going to count out, it's a Butch Thompson led group. They can be a feisty bunch. What's kind of the message and the conversations this week going on the road again to the state of Alabama? You know, you guys started on the road in Tuscaloosa, didn't go your way. Like, is there any sort of different mindset or same approach going down to Auburn?
I think this is quite a bit different approach. I feel that we went down to Alabama and first SEC weekend, but we were on the road as well. So losing that first weekend while on the road, and now this is our second on the road series. We kind of want to have a little chip on our shoulder. We want to make sure we win is our biggest thing. Obviously, win every game, but losing on the road sucks and it doesn't make for a fun bus ride back. I'll tell you that. But I think going down there, we're gonna just play. We're gonna play hard. We're gonna play smart. We're gonna play extra smart, is what I would say.
1-8 or doesn't matter. Going to
Doesn't
Auburn's never been easy for the Tennessee program to go down there and play.
Mm-hmm.
And do they still call it Plainsman Park? I don't even know, but it's been never been easy for a Tennessee team to go down there and play. So, there's one thing you can't do. You can't go in there with, as you said, any taking anything for granted for sure, because it is the SEC. You have to be ready to play every single game, especially on a Friday night when they've got their ace going.
Yep. Yeah. 100%.
Is this good timing for you guys to have? You guys have a midweek game off, kind of a midweek bye week, if you will. Is it kind of good timing for you guys, or is it a situation where you got a lot of guys itching to go out? I know you've dealt with some injuries, some guys banged up and stuff. What's that like?
I feel like a good week and a good week to like little deload and kind of relax, kind of just take the pressure off our shoulders, not having to worry about a game and just worry about getting better. Honestly, I think a week like this is meant for improvement and kind of focusing on like health, like recovery, and a week is a long time, honestly, especially in a baseball season. So, or I should say 5 days, but I mean, having a week like this off is kind of beneficial for us. I think we're gonna all be smart with our bodies, and we're gonna take care of ourselves, and we're gonna go down there and we're gonna be the best we felt all season.
So that week off, has it been a light week of workouts for you guys, or you grinding like you normally do?
Yeah, I'd say a little bit of both. You don't want to take the foot off the gas, as like I'd like to say. I mean, I threw a bullpen today, so kind of get ready, get on the mound, kind of feel my way through, get ready for Friday if they need me, if not Saturday, if not Sunday. So I just think that when we're at practice, it's kind of all hands on deck, kind of go all out. But when we're away from the field, it's kind of just relaxing and rest.
Nate, before we let you go, I'm going to throw you a curveball here. I don't have any heat to throw, but this man with me can attest that I can locate the zone pretty well. But that's
that 38-mile-an-hour fastball from Little League.
Yeah. So
hey, we've all been there. We've all been there.
Yeah. So you're part of what we would call the weekend rotation presented by Crumble Cookies. Although your role, you've talked about it. You can close for 3 outs or go 3+ innings. We've seen you start games. But Crumble Cookies has a weekend rotation that's dynamite every week as well. They mix it up on you. Nate, I'm going to go through these cookies, the lineup for this week, see what you think. We've got the always reliable chocolate chip. It's actually a semi-sweet chocolate chunk cookie, raspberry butter cake, oatmeal skillet cookie, classic pink sugar, chocolate cookies and cream, or key lime pie. What are you going with?
If I had to choose one of those, I might go with the key lime pie. I've had that chocolate chip one before. I don't remember if I had another one of those. That chocolate chip one, I think, is just a little too doughy for me. I'm not.
It's the semi-sweet or the traditional?
Both. I think I've had both.
Okay.
So, but I mean, probably the key lime pie though. You can never go wrong with a little sweetness.
That's what I'm going with. And by the way, we called the chocolate chip cookie the Drew Beam of cookies because we think it's always reliable. So be sure to tell him that he's a little too doughy.
Yeah.
Next time you see him. All right.
I'll make sure I let him know that.
Bill,
and Logan, my wife loved the carrot cake cookie last week. So yeah, I went and picked her up one, and she was all about it. Yeah.
It was a big hit, and I'm not trying to tempt you, Bill, here, but is there one you'd pick out for the grandkids there?
For the grandkids, they'll go with their old reliable Drew Beam, but I agree with Nate. I'm a key lime guy, so that's where I'm going.
That's the answer for this week, key lime pie. I'm good with it. Y'all are good with it. Nate, it was fun chopping it up with you, man. Can't wait to see you boys, what you guys do going down to Auburn and for the rest of the season. We'll check in with you soon, man. I appreciate you hopping on.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It was fun talking to you guys.
Appreciate it, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Until next time, thanks, Nate Snead, for hopping on. I'm Logan Quinton alongside Bill Monnett. We will join you guys next time.